guys, so I know I've been MIA lately. I wanted to give an update about what has been going on in my life. I had a pretty rough week or so. Yeah, so I just want to start out by saying that the baby is okay and I'm okay, but I did end up in the ER. So it was like over a week ago. I had gone to the gym, and after I was out of the gym, I was feeling like really achy, all of my muscles and my bones, to the point where I thought that I had just overworked myself at the gym. And then I had gone to one of my daughter's soccer games, and they were doing dinner at Culver's afterwards. I went to Culver's, and out of nowhere, I just felt like I was freezing and started shaking uncontrollably, and I had to go sit in my car. And then that night, I had gone to bed, and at about 3 or 4 in the morning, I woke up with a fever. I felt my face. I could tell that I was, really warm, and my head was just pounding like crazy. And so I went downstairs. I took the thermometer, and my fever was 101.5. So I called the 24-hour nurse line, and they transferred me to the midwife that's on call. Because when I was looking it up, it said a fever is never normal during pregnancy, so contact your healthcare provider. So I did that immediately. And the midwife told me to go to the emergency room. It's better to be safe than sorry. She wanted me to get some medicine in me to bring my fever down and get an IV in me to help flush everything out. So Iris, was here. So I ended up driving myself to the hospital because Brandon needed to watch Iris. So I got to the hospital, and when I first got to the emergency room, they told me to go upstairs to labor and delivery to have the baby checked out. They asked me if I could walk, and I said, I think so. So head pounding like crazy, I walked upstairs to the hospital to one end. They said, no, this is on the other end of the hall, then to the other end of there. And then they said, get checked out in emergency room first, and then if they need you to come up to labor and delivery, they'll send you up here. So then I had to go back downstairs, and when they were first checking me out, I had high blood pressure. So they were immediately afraid of preeclampsia. That's what they're always watching for during pregnancy. So I had high blood pressure initially, and a fever still when I got there. It was 101.3. So they ended up sending me back to labor and delivery, but this time they had someone wheel me up on the bed. So that was a lot better because I felt awful when I was there. So they wheeled me up to labor and delivery, and they put a bunch of monitors on me, but my blood pressure ended up leveling off. So I think it was just because they had me walk around the entire hospital, and I was feeling so awful at that time. So they monitored the baby. They told me that the baby was just fine. They put some IVs in me, and they gave me what they call a headache cocktail with some magnesium and things like that, and some Tylenol to bring down my fever. And eventually I was able to go home. Oh, and they tested all of my blood. They did a bunch of blood work and a urine analysis, and to test me for COVID, flu, and any infections, which I came back negative for all of that. They checked my blood pressure a bunch more times, and it was stable. So I was able to go home, but after I got home, I still felt very weak, and I had a fever on and off for a few days. Like, I could not get out of bed for days. And I know people get sick, obviously, so I'm not trying to sound overly dramatic, but this was up there with like the worst I've ever felt in my life. I felt really awful. It was just kind of this ongoing cycle of, you know, fever, then it going down, then I'd start to shake uncontrollably and feel freezing, then my fever would go back, and then it would level off for a few hours, same thing, start shaking. So it was pretty rough. And when my blood work did come back, it looks like my liver took a hit from being sick. So they kept monitoring. I had to have my blood drawn a few times. Normal liver levels are 10 to 40, and my liver is at 50. So they said that it's not like so extreme that they start to intervene. That's like when it gets up to 80, they were saying. Initially, my platelets were low also, so they were worried about something else going on. And my platelets did end up going back up. But as of now, my liver is still, it's at 50. I have to go get tested again in a couple days here. So the midwives ended up recommending that I go see a doctor, an OB, to get checked out and evaluated to see if I need to transfer my care. And as of now, she said that we're not there yet. She did recommend that I get another ultrasound. So I had an ultrasound at 38 weeks pregnant, called a biophysical, to make sure that the baby is okay and that I can keep going being pregnant without being induced or some sort of intervention there. And thankfully, my son got a perfect score on the biophysical. Kind of what they do is they measure him, they look at his diaphragm to see if he's practicing breathing. In the days, weeks before birth, the baby will like start breathing amniotic fluid to practice breathing air. So that was pretty cool to see, actually. I've never seen that before because I've never had an ultrasound at 38 weeks. And then they just look at his movement to make sure that he's moving enough inside my stomach, and he did. So baby appears just fine. They said the baby doesn't care that I was sick. I'm like, thank goodness. Yeah, because I was really worried about that. And they measured him again. He is estimated to be 7.2 pounds. Again, he can gain a little more weight as I keep being pregnant, but he's a good weight as of now. If I had him right now, I think he'd be just fine. I was worried about a lot of stuff though. Like, I had gone my pregnancy very natural. I hadn't taken any pills throughout my pregnancy. I don't dye my hair. I don't do my nails. And I got so sick that I had to take Tylenol. Oh, and I forgot to mention that the day after my fever started, my entire body erupted in a rash from head to toe, which was just awful. It felt miserable being sick and incredibly itchy at the same time. So they had to prescribe me an antihistamine that's safe for pregnancy also. But I'm done. I'm off of all the pills now. I've been on the mend and feeling a lot better. I'm getting strength back every day. I was able to, go check out an event yesterday and walk around. Today, I made it onto the elliptical machine for a little while. So I think I'm on the mend, that I'm doing better. So basically, they think that I just had a random virus, and being pregnant and sick at the same time took a strain on my liver. So now, as I'm posting this video, I am 39 weeks pregnant. It's crazy. I'm like pretty much there. It could happen anytime now. I'm hoping to go into labor naturally. As long as I go into labor naturally, they think my chance for a VBAC is really successful. So I'm doing all the things that I can, trying to stay active, although I was sick, so I was in bed for a week. And I'm eating lots of dates, doing those other activities that are supposed to enhance natural or induce natural labor. And yeah, so they'll let me go to 41 weeks because I had a C-section with Iris. And if I get to that point, they're saying they recommend just going right for the C-section versus being induced with medicine because that didn't go so well the first time. But at the end of the day, it's my call. I'm just hoping we don't get there. I'm hoping I go into labor naturally. He seems to be doing the things. He's been head down for a long time. He's really low. My plug fell out on my birthday, and I'm getting some Braxton Hicks contractions. When I was in the hospital, when I was on the monitor, they told me that I was having, mild contractions already too. So there's definitely some good signs that he's doing things that, he could be on his way. So yeah, that is the update that I have for you guys. I'm extremely thankful that my baby is doing just fine. I love him so much already. I have this bond with him. So I need him to be all right, obviously. And then I'm glad that I'm starting to feel better, to be on the mend again, because I want to have my strength to be able to give birth. That was something that I was really scared of. I was just like, oh my gosh, if I give birth, I don't have the strength when I was sick, I mean. So yeah, things are getting better, and I'm getting my energy back. Thank you guys for watching and, always supporting me, and I really appreciate it. All right, take care, everyone. I love you. Mwah.